You won't believe what's been buzzing through the NFL rumor mill over the past few days. And I'm telling you, this one is massive. Imagine the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team built on gritty defense and old school power football, suddenly lighting up the scoreboard with one of the fastest men in the NFL. Yeah, that's right. The whispers have begun, and they're getting louder by the hour. Tyreek Hill to the Steelers. I know. It sounds insane, like the kind of trade you pull off in Madden with the settings turned off. But sources close to the league and even a few insiders in Pittsburgh have been hinting at something big, something seismic. Tyreek Hill is being talked about as the potential biggest signing in franchise history. And when you think about it, it starts to make sense. The Steelers need that spark, that electric playmaker who turns short passes into 80-yard touchdowns. They need someone who puts fear in the heart of every defensive coordinator. If this move happens, and that's a big if, we're talking about a total shift in Pittsburgh's identity. This isn't just a move, it's a revolution. But how did we get here? And why now? The Steelers have always been a team rooted in tradition. From the Steel Curtain days to the Big Ben era, they've thrived on continuity defense and smash-mouth football. But lately, let's be honest, they've been stuck. Post-Roethlisberger, the offense has looked flat. Kenny Pickett's development has been inconsistent. And while there's talent in the wide receiver room, there's no true game breaker. That's where Tyreek Hill comes in. You put him on the field and everything changes. Spacing, coverage, the running game, even Pickett's confidence. Hill stretches defenses like a rubber band and forces safeties to play 20 yards deep. Imagine George Pickens with 1-0 matchups every down, because everyone's keyed on Tyreek. That's not just a luxury, it's a necessity in today's NFL. And this isn't the kind of rumor that pops up out of nowhere. There's a history here, a pattern. Steelers GM Omar Khan has shown he's not afraid to take bold swings. The move for Patrick Peterson last season, the aggressive draft tactics, it all points to a front office willing to disrupt tradition. Tyreek wouldn't just be a signing, he'd be a statement, a signal to the rest of the AFC North. Pittsburgh's back, and they're playing with fire. But how realistic is this? I mean, Tyreek Hill is still under contract with the Miami Dolphins, and let's be honest, he's been producing like an absolute superstar down there. So why would Miami ever consider moving him? That's where it gets interesting. Word is Hill isn't exactly thrilled with the direction of the Dolphins' offense. Behind the scenes, there's talk of frustration. Too many short routes, not enough deep shots. And we all know Tyreek lives for the big play. Then there's the contract situation. Hill signed a massive deal, sure, but NFL contracts are built on guarantees and leverage. If Hill senses that Miami might be tightening their cap or eyeing a younger core around Tua, maybe he's looking for his next chapter. And Pittsburgh, they've got cap flexibility, draft capital, and perhaps most importantly, a wide receiver room that's just begging for a leader. Someone vocal, experienced, a proven winner. The fit isn't just scheme, it's cultural. It's about bringing swagger back to Heinz Field. Could Hill be intrigued by the challenge, turning a historic blue-collar team into an offensive juggernaut? It's crazy, but not impossible. There's also the Mike Tomlin factor. Think about that for a second. Mike Tomlin is one of the most respected coaches in the NFL. Players love playing for him. His locker room is always tightening no matter the record. If there's any coach in the league who could manage Tyreek Hill's strong personality while maximizing his explosiveness on the field, it's Tomlin. This is a guy who kept Antonio Brown focused for years, don't forget. That kind of leadership could be exactly what Tyreek wants at this point in his career. Maybe he's looking for more than highlight reels. Maybe he wants legacy, championships, respect. And in Pittsburgh, he'd be the guy, the star among stars. No Tua controversy, no shared spotlight. Just him, Tomlin, and a hungry young quarterback in Kenny Pickett looking to prove the world wrong. From a storyline perspective, it's almost too perfect. Tyreek bringing his flash to a team known for grit. The contrast makes it even more exciting. And if anyone's capable of pulling off a blockbuster like this in the middle of the NFL landscape, it's the Steelers. They've been quiet long enough. Maybe too quiet. Now, let's not forget the AFC North landscape. The Bengals have Burrow and Chase. The Ravens have Lamar and Zay Flowers. Even the Browns, as erratic as they are, have weapons. The Steelers, they're behind in the arms race. That's the reality. They've been trying to win with solid, unspectacular pieces, and in today's NFL, that's just not enough. You need firepower. You need that one player who makes the entire defense panic. TYREEK Hill is that guy. Defensive coordinators lose sleep over him. And in a division where margins are razor thin, where one or two plays can decide a season, the addition of Hill could be the tipping point. Imagine a 3rd and 12 late in the 4th quarter. Kenny drops back the pocket, collapses, he scrambles, and boom. TYREEK is 40 yards downfield, waving for the ball. That's a moment you can't coach. Can't scheme. It's raw, it's rare, and it's what separates contenders from pretenders. The Steelers know this. They've seen what explosiveness can do. Remember Santonio Holmes, Mike Wallace, but Hill, he's on another level. If this rumor has any legs, Pittsburgh fans should be very excited because this isn't just about competing, it's about dominating. Of course, a move this big doesn't happen without major sacrifice. If TYREEK Hill is truly on the Steelers' radar, you better believe it'll cost them. Probably multiple first-round picks, maybe a young defensive star. That's the price you pay for greatness in this league. But the Steelers might just be in the perfect position to pull it off. They've drafted well, they've got depth on defense, they've got young assets that could appeal to Miami, and most of all, they've got urgency. That sense that the window is starting to open, but only if they act now. Every year Kenny Pickett gains confidence, the clock ticks louder. You don't want to waste those early years where a quarterback is still cheap. You want to load up. The Rams did it. The Eagles did it. Teams that wait for the perfect time usually miss it. The Steelers know this. And if they truly believe in Pickett, and everything coming out of that locker room suggests they do, then surrounding him with elite talent is not optional. It's essential. TYREEK Hill might just be that rare opportunity to change a franchise's destiny overnight. And let's not overlook the marketing side. You bring TYREEK Hill to Pittsburgh, and suddenly the Steelers are everywhere. Primetime. Games, jersey sales, national attention. Hill's nickname is Cheetah for a reason. He's not just a player, he's a brand. And right now, the Steelers could use a little sizzle. They've always had passionate fans, sure, but lately the narrative around them has been rebuilding, developing. Not quite there yet. That changes instantly with TYREEK. Suddenly, Pickett or Hill is on highlight reels. The offense is no longer a punchline, it's a threat. And culturally, it sends a message to the entire NFL: the Steelers are done waiting. They're going all in. That's the kind of mentality that wins championships. Think about how the Chiefs transformed with Mahomes and Hill. Think about how defenses had to adjust. That's the same effect he could have in Pittsburgh. The buzz, the energy, the fear. And make no mistake, NFL players talk. Free agents notice. When a team is serious, Hill could be the domino that triggers a wave of signings. Suddenly, Pittsburgh isn't a tough place to play. It's a place everyone wants to play. The question now is, how close are we to this actually happening? Is this smoke with fire, or just another off-season fantasy cooked up by hungry fans and eager media? That's the beauty and danger of NFL rumors. But here's the thing, this one feels different. The chatter is louder, more persistent. Players are tweeting cryptic emojis. Beat reporters are hinting at major developments. Something's happening behind the scenes, and while no one's gone on record, the dots are connecting. TYREEK Hill hasn't exactly shut down the rumors. In fact, he's been suspiciously quiet on social media. No denials, no Dolphins loyalty posts. That's unusual, and you better believe fans are watching. Every like, every follow, every deleted post, it all adds fuel to the fire. Could this be the calm before the storm? Is Pittsburgh about to break the mold and make the boldest move in franchise history? If they do, it'll be remembered for decades. The trade that changed everything. And whether you're a Steelers fan, a Dolphins diehard, or just a football junkie, you can feel it. Something's coming. All right, now let's dive even deeper into what this blockbuster move could mean for the Steelers and the NFL landscape as a whole. If TYREEK Hill does end up in Pittsburgh, the ripple effects will be felt far beyond Heinz Field. First, think about how it would reshape the AFC North balance of power. The Bengals have been the kings of the division lately, with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase terrorizing defenses. But Hill joining the Steelers could instantly tilt the scales. Suddenly, the Steelers would have one of the most explosive offenses in the conference. Kenny Pickett, with his improved mechanics and growing confidence, would be throwing to arguably the fastest wideout in the league. That kind of speed and playmaking ability changes how opposing defenses prepare. The Steelers wouldn't just be competing for a playoff spot anymore, they'd be legitimate contenders for the division title, maybe even beyond. It would force teams like Baltimore and Cleveland to rethink their defensive game plans entirely. And remember, in the NFL, momentum is everything. When a team makes a splash signing like Hill, it sends a message, both to fans and rivals, that they mean business. The Steelers have long been known for their defense, but adding Hill would make them a nightmare on offense. Imagine the excitement. In Pittsburgh's fan base, suddenly buzzing about an offense that can light up the scoreboard at will. This is the kind of move that can transform a franchise's fortunes overnight. Beyond just the AFC North implications, there's the larger playoff picture. TYREEK Hill is a player who elevates a team's ceiling. In the NFL, it's often the difference between making the playoffs and going deep into January. With Hill's speed and game-breaking ability, the Steelers would have a weapon to exploit every matchup. They'd be able to run more creative schemes, take more deep shots, and keep defenses on their heels. That kind of threat is invaluable when you're facing elite defenses in the postseason. Playoff games are won on big plays, and Hill is one of the best playmakers alive. For a team like Pittsburgh that's been searching for that edge since the Roethlisberger era ended, this could be the breakthrough moment. And let's not forget about the psychological boost to the locker room. Signing a player of Hill's caliber signals to the entire roster that the front office is committed to winning now. It's a morale booster, a motivator. Players feed off that energy. Young guys like George Pickens would thrive with Hill on the field, learning from one of the best at stretching defenses. Veteran players would feel the renewed sense of urgency and possibility. It's not just about the individual talent, it's about the culture shift that comes with it. And in a league as competitive as the NFL, culture can be just as important as skill. There's also the quarterback situation to consider. Kenny Pickett's development is central to this whole scenario. Adding a player like TYREEK Hill could accelerate his growth tremendously. Having an elite receiver to trust on crucial third downs and in tight coverage can change a young quarterback's trajectory. It's one thing to have talent around you, it's another to have a dynamic threat who can create separation and change the game on a single catch. Pickett's confidence could skyrocket with Hill on the roster. That's huge, because quarterback confidence often correlates directly with team success. If Pickett starts seeing defenses collapse to cover Hill, it opens up the entire offense. Running game, short passes, tight ends. The synergy would be undeniable. And think about the message this sends to Pickett himself. The organization believes in you so much they're willing to invest heavily in your supporting cast. That can be a game changer psychologically and on the field. It could mean fewer mistakes, more aggressive plays, and a faster path to becoming the franchise quarterback Pittsburgh has desperately needed. So if you're a Steelers fan, this potential Hill signing isn't just about adding a star player, it's about building the future around your young QB. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. But let's be honest, the road to getting Hill won't be easy or cheap. Miami isn't going to just give him away. The Dolphins are aware of Hill's elite value and will demand a significant return. That likely means first-round picks and potentially valuable players from the Steelers roster. Could Pittsburgh part with some of its defensive talent or future draft capital? That's the million-dollar question. Trading away future assets is always risky, especially for a team still building around a young quarterback. But sometimes you have to strike while the iron is hot. Waiting too long could mean missing out on a player like Hill altogether. And the Steelers front office has a reputation for being strategic and patient. So if they're seriously pursuing Hill, they've probably weighed the costs and benefits carefully. Maybe they see this as the one trade that can elevate the team from mediocrity to contender in one fell swoop. That's a bold move, but bold moves win championships. The challenge will be convincing Miami that the package is worth it, and convincing Hill that Pittsburgh is the place to be. Negotiations will likely be tough, drawn out, and filled with twists. But if anyone can pull off a blockbuster deal, the Steelers might just be the team. There's also the media and fan reaction to anticipate. Pittsburgh is a passionate sports town with a rich history. The arrival of a superstar like Tyreek Hill would be met with massive excitement, but also intense scrutiny. Every catch, every touchdown, every drop pass will be magnified. Fans will expect Hill to deliver immediately to be the missing piece of the puzzle. The pressure will be enormous, but Hill has thrived under pressure his entire career. The local media will cover every angle, and the national media will be buzzing about the Steelers' transformation. Social media will explode with highlight clips and hot takes. The Steelers brand will receive a huge boost, and the city will rally behind the new era. But with big moves come big expectations. If the team stumbles, the criticism will be loud and relentless. This is the high-stakes world of NFL superstardom. Hill's ability to adapt to a new team, new system, and colder weather will be tested. But if the rumors are true, it's a risk the Steelers are willing to take because the potential reward is simply too great to ignore. Financially, bringing Hill to Pittsburgh would also represent a major commitment. His contract is one of the most lucrative in the league for a wide receiver, and absorbing that salary cap hit won't be simple. But the Steelers have been smart with their cap space recently, and if they're ready to open the checkbook, it shows serious intent. This isn't a team just dipping their toes in free agency, they're diving headfirst. The salary cap crunch will force other moves, perhaps difficult ones, but the Steelers will be making a calculated gamble. If Hill performs at his usual high level, the investment will pay off many times over. It could also attract other free agents who want to play alongside a true game changer. And for Hill, the stability of a storied franchise like Pittsburgh might be appealing, especially if he's looking for a chance to chase a Super Bowl ring. The finances are complex, but in the NFL, talent usually wins out. If the Steelers make the move, it'll be a clear signal to the league. Pittsburgh is serious about winning now. Looking ahead, imagine the potential season storyline. Steelers fans could be waking up to news every week about highlight reel catches, electrifying punt returns, and game-winning drives. The buzz around Heinz Field would be electric. Tyreek Hill would bring a level of excitement and unpredictability that the Steelers haven't had in years. Imagine the opposing defenses scrambling to cover Hill, while George Pickens and Deontay Johnson find new lanes. The offense would be more dynamic, more balanced, and far more explosive. This could even shift how the team approaches the draft and free agency in the coming years, focusing more on offensive weapons to complement Hill and Pickett. The ripple effect could lead to a sustained period of success, not just a one-year flash in the pan. That's what makes this rumor so tantalizing. It's not just about a single player, it's about a potential turning point for the entire franchise. If the Steelers manage to pull this off, the NFL landscape might never look the same again. So where does that leave us now? We're sitting on the edge of our seats, waiting to see if this rumor becomes reality. Tyreek Hill to the Steelers isn't just a pipe dream anymore. It's a story unfolding in real time. The next few weeks could be absolutely wild with reports, negotiations, and maybe even official announcements. If you're a fan of bold moves, high stakes, and electrifying football, this is the off-season story you don't want to miss. Pittsburgh could be about to make history, rewriting what it means to be a Steelers offense. And remember, in the NFL, things can change overnight. One phone call, one trade, one signing can alter the trajectory of a franchise forever. So keep your eyes peeled and your ears open, because the cheetah might just be running to Steel City sooner than you think. And if he does get ready for a football revolution, unlike anything Pittsburgh has seen in decades. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.